8:39 p.m. Monday, July 22nd, episode number 733 of Yeah Dude. My name is Jonathan, and this is Seth.
Honored to be with you.
Hello, Seth.
Sir. Jonathan Preston Larroquette, Seth Joseph Romatelli, Yeah Dude, America's podcast.
We are
Episode 733.
both seated.
Seated.
Preparing.
Grounded. You know, I was watching that fucking Shangri-La, Rick Rubin Showtime documentary. Rick don't wear shoes because he puts his feet under the ground so he can get that
Grounded.
Energy. Grounded.
It's a
So I'm
documentary
doing that
about
for
him?
It's about,
Or about
him
that-
and
the
Shangri-La studio and him.
I used to live
And
close to there.
creativity and artistry and conception and existential vortexual thoughts. But it's mostly about being barefoot. And you have to touch the earth the way our ancestors did. So I'm going barefoot from now on. Hell no. Well, it's a lot easier when you live in like a gorgeous like $17 million palatial estate
like
in
don't
Malibu.
leave your grounds.
Yeah, don't leave
for,
it.
Like weeks on end.
Yeah, I'm going to Yoshinoya down on Sunset. Can I go walk down there barefoot? Feel that energy?
What if you just did it for like
When I'm with him at Shangri-La.
for live shows?
Just for live shows.
You bring your own rug,
Yeah.
like a nice
Yeah.
a Tibetan or a Persian
Bob Dylan
Persian
face
rug,
paint and
pancake makeup.
pancake. Hello.
But what if you just went barefoot at
Just
shows?
went barefoot at live shows.
Like Spin Doctors.
And that's maybe that's
The
one of the
Spin
draws.
Doctors.
See Seth's feet
That's feet.
live. Episode 733 of Yeah Dude. I have 5 stories here. I'm going to read them to Jonathan. We're going to talk about them. I'm going to read them to all of us. We're going to learn, I guess.
We're all going to talk about them.
How much variety we want varies by the time of day, according to new research from Duke University's Fuqua School of Business.
Hold on. Maybe we should let this pass.
Yes. Would you like an ice cream? I'm going to run out there and grab you
One of the ones that are
hood-
foot with the
little
bubblegum toe.
with the bubblegum toe ring. It's LSD. It's a
Bubblegum
parked
toe ring
right
is
up
a
front.
Very good band.
Bubblegum toe ring. The Mizu Romatelli story. Professor Jordan Etkin and her colleagues found their circadian rhythms that guide the body's daily cycle cause us to desire less variety in the morning, in the food that we eat, the activities that we like, and even in the colors we choose, but more as the day wears on. Most of us are perfectly fine with eating the same thing for breakfast every day, like cereal. But the thought of eating the same rotisserie chicken for dinner every night is just terrible. Ugh. I mean, unless you spice it up.
Roasty again?
Yeah. Like Anthony on an episode of this News Queer Eye, he took a rotisserie and you got to see what Anthony does with a rotisserie.
I bet I do.
Oh, God. I'm sorry.
Stupid ass show.
We wanted to test this apparent difference.
What if we found out one of them wasn't gay? That they just gay for the show?
Like
That it's a put on?
gay for the stay?
Gay
Like,
for the stay, but
just
in
on
other
the
words,
show.
for a contract on Bravo.
On the low for the show.
On the
Okay.
low for the show. On the low for the show.
Okay.
How long until somebody...
Out's one of them.
No, not let's say them, but how long until somebody is found to be a gay imposter?
You mean
a celebrity,
a
gay celebrity
imposter.
imposter?
Wow. That would really that would shake everything
Rock
up.
the entertainment
Would
world.
rock this city, this town. Gay celebrity imposter.
It's also a good, would be a cool cartoon.
It'd be a great feature.
Adult cartoon.
Adult cartoon.
Sorry. Go ahead. So,
Listen.
okay, I'm with this so far.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Does time of day affect variety seeking? Is a forthcoming study in the Journal of Consumer Research. The findings shed light on how consumers shop and can help firms tailor offerings to suit them based on the time of day. The researchers conducted 4 studies. They reviewed data from 1.1 million reward card customers at a grocery store in California over the course of 2 years. Tracking the card usage allowed the researchers to see how the same customers shop differently at different times of day. That makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got like 1 million people, and you really get a sense of how they shop according to the time of day. They found people chose significantly more variety within single categories. For instance, more different flavors of yogurt when they shopped later in the day. The other studies moved beyond food, realizing there could be other reasons people might want a simple breakfast. There are certain norms that just hold breakfast as a more functional meal and less fun, said Professor Jordan Etkin. You might be more motivated just to get out of the door rather than savoring your breakfast. Of course, those norms could have developed in part due to an underlying preference for less variety in the morning. But we needed to know if a desire for less variety, less stimulation in the morning went beyond food preferences and in other domains, such as persons shopping or reading or choosing of activities. In a second study, online survey participants chose types of activities to engage in. The researchers tracked what time zone the participants were in when they took the survey. The patterns were very consistent. In the morning, people tend to choose more of the same activities rather than several different activities. To understand the cause of these variety preferences, the researchers recruited students who were randomly assigned to show up at 7:30 a.m., to show up at noon, or to show up at 5:30 p.m., and then asked them to choose multiple highlighters for an exercise. People in the morning chose primarily the same color of highlighters. People in the evening chose many different colors.
Weird. That's a weird thing to give them to choose.
Here, it was important that we not allow people to choose their own times, which would have allowed their own circadian rhythms to determine when they came into the lab. The researchers also measured the students' body temperature and found that it tended to be higher later in the day. Higher body temperature is a signal of physiological arousal. We found arousal level is driving this variety preference effect. The more physiologically aroused you are, the more variety you want. So if you have lover in the morning, you might prefer one lover. But a lover in the evening, I need several lovers. Yeah, because of the heat, the body heat. I've been up all day. I had that steel-cut oatmeal. I had that every morning with my wife. But at night, I'll take a rotisserie, but you see what I do with it. A final online study used a questionnaire to identify whether participants were morning people or night people. What we found is that this effect only holds if you are not an extreme morning person. Morning people, because they are more physiologically aroused in the morning, like a similar amount of variety in the morning as they do for the rest of the day. So if you're a real morning person, you'll still mix it up in the morning, as opposed to someone that might not be a morning person who's just
regular.
Routine. Throughout the day, the body heat rises. You need more. Is it possible that there's some people that they eat the same dinner every night, but they mix it up? They're saying that you just eat the same thing for breakfast, but at night that would be absurd. You mix it up.
No, I mean, I'm sure there are people that do the exact reverse of this. Morning people that they're talking about probably do all their shits all inspired in the morning. They work through the day. Afternoon, they start to wind down.
And then
at night, they want the same thing. They want their predictable cycle in
Angel
order to
pasta,
ramp down.
Yeah. But isn't it just naturally, no matter what anyone's circadian rhythm is, in the morning you're pretty much kind of alone, and more in the evening, maybe you're more out with.
I think that's part of it. I would say that also when I wake up, that there's probably a period of time after waking before embarking on my day that, yes, not only am I alone, but that I'm sort of left to kind of
contemplate the nature of your existence first.
Well, that my faculties start to kind of
takes a minute.
And that you don't really, I mean, you've sort of
your brain's not moving, so you can't have any variety.
And then so you're kind of reassessing who it is that you are.
Who am I
and
this
so
morning?
You start to kind of you move towards those things that you find comforting and familiar.
Yeah, like an egg McMuffin.
Like a McMuffin.
Simple.
Who am I? I need to stop really quick. Okay. I need a couple of batteries.
Okay.
I'm just worried that this flashing isn't good. Will you just get them for me real quick?
You're saying in the morning you come back to who you have to realize again who you are as a
like you're saying that,
person.
like we were saying that basically some of your faculties are coming back to you, so it takes a second. But that also, I mean, you've been in a dream state that you've sort of lost touch with your identity in a way,
because
and then you
you've become
up
someone else for, let's say, I don't know how long are you. Let's say you sleep
13
6 hours, 13 and a half hours. For 9 hours, you're somebody else.
And so that at
Somebody
the point
wildly
that you've,
successful.
throughout the day, you've received so much stimulation. You've been given so many choices,
opportunities
that probably at a certain point that it's hard to just stick with what you know, because you've been sort of had all these.
Is it yellow highlighter?
Yeah. Usually go with a blue one, but
let's see what happens.
I think that's part of it. That maybe the stimulation or overstimulation
throughout
a day that you're like, I need a little jazz in my life.
I need to jazz it up, and you know who you are now because you were somebody fabulous for 13 and a half hours. Now you're just kind of you, and it's been a long day of you.
And then the
who
rhythms
can't fly.
probably have something to
Can't
do with
fly is me. That sucks.
Can't physically fly.
And I also can't be in like my childhood bedroom, which is really actually my first girlfriend's house. So that sucks because that's cool when you can kind of do that kind of shit. I'd rather go back to bed. So can we go to sleep at 7 tonight? I'm going to go back to that place.
I don't know. I think the only thing that I would say is that maybe I dress a bit riskier in the morning.
Okay. Because you think you can get away with it. Your choices. Lazier or riskier?
That maybe I'm less. I don't know.
You're not as self-conscious. It's more like when you see when you see a 6-year-old kid and they're dressed like fucking psychotic,
like in a costume.
Yeah, because it's
every day.
Yeah, I mean they like football like pads, but a cowboy hat and like firefighter pants, and they're at Jamba Juice with their parents because life is just like real.
Yeah.
They have that. They still have that childlike wonder.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just focus on getting back to that.
Yeah. The people that do that, I don't like, though.
Oh, you hate those people? Like adults?
Yeah, that are like, what?
What? Yeah, it's shoulder pads and a football jersey and a cowboy hat and firefighter pants and ballet slippers. So what? I like wheatgrass. Yeah, you don't like that.
I don't like them types.
Excuse me, sir. They say honesty is the best policy, and now there's a scientific evidence to prove it. An unconventional study that offered volunteers the chance to pocket nearly $100 found that the more people stood to gain by hiding the truth, the more likely they were to come clean. The results published in the journal Science offer surprising insights into the ways that money influences honesty. The findings could help shape policies that encourage conscientious behavior in a range of situations. Honesty is essential for almost all social and economic relations, says Michael Marischal, an economics professor at the University of Zurich, who helped lead this study across the world. Scientists have studied how the temptation of money affects honesty in laboratory settings, but little is known about how they're related in the real world, especially on such a global scale. So a team of economists devised an experiment involving more than 170,000 lost wallets that turned up in 335 cities across 40 countries worldwide. Each wallet contained a grocery list, a key, and 3 business cards with the same male name and email address. Some of them had no money, while others had the equivalent of about $13.50 of American money. To kick off the experiment...
How many wallets?
170,000.
That is so cool.
Good luck. So 170,000 wallets go out. Now, what the researchers... They kick off the experiment. A research assistant brought a wallet to the front desks of a hotel, banks, post office, or other public places he or she would claim to have found it outside and push it toward the person behind the desk. Hey, somebody must have lost it. The research assistant would tell the unwitting employee, I'm in a hurry and I got to go. Can you please take care of it? This is on you. I just found this wallet. I have a very important meeting. I can't go through it. The study authors hypothesized that employees would be more likely to email the wallet's owner using the address on the business card if it contained no cash. After all, economists assume people will behave rationally and maximize their utility, which in this case would mean keeping the $13.50 windfall. But that's not what happened. Much to our surprise, we observed the opposite effect. People were more likely to return the wallet when it contained a higher amount of money. In the experiment, 51% of wallets with cash were returned compared with 40% of those without bills or coins. And people were not treating themselves to a finder's fee. Spot checks of the wallets showed that 98% of the money was turned in. When there was something missing, it was coins, said one of the lead authors. In these cases, the researchers figured that the coins probably just fell out of the wallet. I mean, into somebody's pocket, but still, they fell out of the wallet. Perhaps $13.50 was such a pittance that people simply wouldn't bother stealing it, said one of the co-authors. So the researchers expanded their experiment to include wallets with the equivalent of about 94 American dollars. Now we're talking. $94 can get you somewhere. $13.50? What am I going to do with this? Can't buy lunch with this. $94? That's tickets to something. Oh, I'm going. I want to see that.
It's a bus ticket
Woo!
somewhere.
I'm out of here.
It's a pair of bus tickets.
New Mexico, here we come, honey. We did it. The extra cash seemed to induce yet more honesty. Wallets with the big bucks were returned 72% of the time, compared with 61% of the wallets with less money and 46% of wallets with no cash. Once again, the economists were stumped. Why are people more likely to return a wallet that contains more money than less money? Perhaps people were afraid of getting into legal trouble if they kept the money for themselves. Legal trouble. Come with me, sir. I'm going to the Hooskow. But why?
For that $14.
You took it. You're spending 31 years in prison.
We saw you.
We saw it. Isn't it finders keepers? Is that a legal defense? Yes. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I submit to you a limerick, a childhood
losers weepers.
Yes.
The
ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I believe
state versus losers
Yes.
weepers.
Finish this for me, shall we, jury? The researchers checked to see if the return rates were higher when the wallet was dropped off in the presence of witnesses or security cameras, but those factors didn't seem to make a difference. Nor was there a correlation between return rates and local lost property laws. What's the law in this county?
What's the lost property law? What's the losers keepers law around
Let's run
here?
down to the library, look up the loser keeper laws over here in this county. If people weren't acting out of fear or being influenced by peer pressure, maybe they were concerned about the well-being of the wallet's owner. So the researchers introduced lost wallets that contained money but no key. The result? Employees were 9.2% more likely to return a wallet with a key than a wallet without one, a sign of altruism. But that wouldn't explain why wallets with $94 were returned at a higher rate than wallets with $13.50. The research conducted in the United States, the place where the biggest money wallets were lost, they asked people They asked people to rate how much they would feel like thieves if they kept a wallet with or without money. Keeping a wallet with no money in it did not feel like stealing. With money, however, it suddenly feels like stealing, and it feels even more like stealing when the money in the wallet increases. In other words, the more money the lost wallet contained, the greater the psychological cost of seeing oneself as a thief. That was a price people did not want to pay. The results bolster the idea that people care about maintaining a positive moral view of themselves. Said Nina Mazar, a Boston University behavioral economist who was not involved in the study. Previous research has shown that reminding people about their moral standards just before they perform a specific task helps reduce their temptation to cheat.
I think...
What if it was $500?
I was just going to say,
now,
unfortunately, I don't think they probably went far enough because, I mean, it would become quite costly to put $1,000 and
And
177.
if none of it got
You
returned.
need $5 million.
That was a very expensive study. And what did it prove? It proved that when someone finds $500 in a wallet,
keep it.
they high five everyone they know, and then they all go out to Outback Steakhouse.
The psychological price you pay for feeling like a thief for an amount of money that isn't quite enough to. Also, the majority of, if you put $100 in New Delhi,
True.
or you know what I mean, versus fucking
the train tracks,
Manhattan,
yeah.
like you might see a different story, because it, something that could be a small fortune for a person to find.
Totally.
Versus,
Yeah.
like I'm saying, that
We dropped $13 in
psychological
Beverly Hills
ramifications
and-
of like,
yeah.
I'm a thief. Then I certainly understand everything down the line from there. I mean,
Okay.
an empty wallet, I would be like, this is like not a real wallet. This is like a kid's wallet. Like,
Yeah, it's a
I'm not gonna bother. Like, I'm throwing this away or
Does this
something.
fit Louis Vuitton? Like, I wouldn't even look
So
into it.
there's that.
If I saw a wallet, you just kick it out of the way.
$13. You might feel sorry for the person, so you want to return it to him. $100.
But
You
isn't
don't
it-
want the.
But $13, you just think, $13, you go buy a coffee. You know what I mean? What's the person gonna like? I gotta track this person down. I found you. Took all day, but here's your $10.
Yeah.
Thanks. I have a $100,000 car. Thank you for my $10.
I mean,
I took off work
that's
to
the other
find you.
thing. Like, what about debit cards or driver's license? If you would put vital documents in that, I mean, you're talking about a wallet. If you opened a wallet, found $13, a key, and 2 business cards,
And a
you'd be like, "This is a mental
psychopath." And a grocery list: milk, eggs, flour.
But no license,
Yeah.
no credit cards, no
No-
membership cards.
No written notes.
You'd be like,
no
this
one's-
person's fucked
Yeah.
up. This person probably got picked up.
Yeah.
It's like,
Bread, milk, cheese. So weird. Yeah. 'cause
and also, what is it? What 2 business cards denoting that those are the owner's business cards? That it's not like that's
Yeah.
such a assumption that it's like, oh, this person doesn't have an ID, but they have 2 business cards with
Yes.
the same email address. This must be their wallet. It's
Okay.
I really appreciate the numbers.
170,000 wallets. That's
so many
a lot
wallets.
of drop wallets.
However,
you need to
I
put
believe there's a threshold at which point
put $1,000 in that wallet. See what happens.
that's what I think. But then you also will get into another realm where if you put enough money in it, that the person would return it, expecting possibly to get
Gotta get
rewarded.
20% out of this, definitely.
But
And then the researchers be getting murdered.
I wonder. I'm trying to think about. I don't know.
So weird.
But then, yes, then there is probably a certain point where you're like, if you found $10,000 in a wallet, you'd be like, I'm going to go to jail if I keep this thing, because it's going to they're going to find out that I took it. At which point you're like, I have no choice but to hope for a reward, because I don't want to fucking do time for,
yeah.
this person's.
And it's definitely a setup because there's a grocery list in here.
There's a key, a grocery
Grocery
list,
list,
2
yeah.
cards, no ID, and $10,000.
Yeah.
Like, this has got to be a prank
Weird
show
writing.
or something.
Definitely a prank
And
show.
then there's like the God aspect of it, which is probably affects people probably more than they think of the psychological programming that we get, that basically the more valuable the thing is, the more of an act of theft it is, which isn't, by nature. You steal something, you steal it. Its value is somewhat arbitrary in the world.
yeah.
In the scope of the world, the value of something can vary so much. So the act of stealing, you're like, I'm stealing, but like how I justify not waiting in line at CVS because I give CVS so much money versus, oh, this is $1,000 I'm going to take from a person.
Yeah.
It technically is the same, by nature, the same act, but maybe that there's a slightly different connotation to I'm stealing from another person that maybe is less fortunate than I, because look at the contents of their wallet,
Yeah. It's $1,000 though. I mean, who's got $1,000 in their wallet? So that's what you got to think. Who the hell carries around $1,000 in their wallet? They ain't gonna miss this.
I mean, it would cross my mind. $1,000 in a wallet like that I would very much consider that it's so suspicious.
No Chipotle like rewards card. Nothing in it that
It's
would.
so weird.
Yeah,
I would be like, this is like
You would instantly just look around and be like, where?
yeah.
I got it.
I would really be like, I might just take this money. We'd be like, because there is the recourse of like, there's nowhere to return it. There was no driver's license. They were like, well, this business card has an email at. Fuck off. You're like, I'm not. Hey, I found $1,000 in a wallet. Is it yours? Yeah.
Hello,
Like,
I work at a local department store. I have someone in a hurry, in a huff, ran in and threw a wallet in my face and said, I've got a meeting. I can't deal with this. So right off the bat,
I'm on
this
television.
Flimsy, like
I'm
looking at my coworkers like, you guys,
it's a diesel wallet with
you got
no
me,
ID
yeah,
in it.
like a Velcro diesel wallet from 1999 with a grocery list in it for eggs, bacon, and milk.
It's like,
Nope.
I'm taking that grand.
Nope.
I need that
Oh,
grand.
yeah, it's mine. Fuck it. What? Oh, this was a study? Well, then, yeah, it's definitely mine.
Study this.
Study it. You learned in the study that whatever percentage I am of who took it, took it. I'm only helping you in the whatever I do is the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
Because it's only for the purpose of this.
God's
it's
plan.
God's study.
God's
study
plan.
and science. Even if I'm 169,999 get returned and they have to account for this outlier,
Yeah.
I still got $1,000 in my pocket.
Absolutely.
You put a picture of me right on the front of the fucking journal.
Took it.
This is the one guy. Fuck. Dating is never easy for any of us. Scenarios play over in our heads. Classic questions and worries bombard us.
Like?
Will she like me? Does he share the same interests? Will my mum be watching us have sex?
MUM?
Yeah. What? Whoa. Thankfully, the last question isn't actually one that humans have to deal with. But new research shows that for bonobos, sex really is often a family affair.
Oy.
What's more, rather than being an embarrassing hindrance, motherly presence greatly benefits bonobo sons during the deed. Along with chimpanzees, bonobos are our closest living relatives. Restricted to a thickly forested zone of the Congo Basin, these endangered great apes were only formally discovered in 1928, which, until 2017, made them the most recently described living great ape species. I guess we found somebody a couple years ago.
I guess. I didn't know that.
All right, cool. I mean, it's too bad
Because it's like
because they'll be gone by the end. Yeah,
it's
it'd
like,
be better if not find them, so we'd have less
we
guilt.
found them because
We
they like
found them.
stumbled out of the jungle.
Help
the last
us! They speak English? Holy fuck!
that was the last ones though.
And yeah, but they're dead by Christmas. Another thing I got to think about. Shit. Operating in female-led social systems, bonobos are capable of showing a wide range of what were long held as human-specific feelings and emotions, such as sensitivity, patience, compassion, kindness, empathy, altruism, jealousy, anger,
Sexual encouragement by
haterade.
your mother.
Yes. They're also perhaps the most promiscuous non-human species on the planet.
I thought dolphins were.
Hold on now. Dolphins are just straight rapists. That's not promiscuous. That's illegal, what they do.
Got it.
There's nothing consensual or beautiful about their fucking actions.
Yeah.
Fuck. While chimpanzee sex is tied closely to reproduction, up to 75% of bonobo sex is just purely for pleasure. From fucking saucy greetings and social bonding to conflict resolution and post-conflict makeup sex, sex serves a hugely important function in aspects of bonobo social behavior. Even the mere discovery of a new food source or a feeding ground is enough to spark a wave of communal sexual activity. Fuck yeah. You know what I mean? New
Just like a
restaurant, orgy.
Banana orgy.
Fuck yeah.
Banana patch
That's a
orgy.
banana fucking tree? Let's fuck. Before, during, and after. It seems that the number of reasons for a bonobo to have sex is surpassed only by the number of forms in which they do it. Indiscriminate of sex and age. Give a fuck, dog. The only combination strictly off limits in the bonobo sex world is between a mother and her mature son. Everything else is on the table. I guess fathers and sons? It's all good to them.
Just not
Just
mom and son.
mom and son. Everything else, do it. But in addition to standard penetrative encounters, they frequently engage in manual genital massage, fucking mutual bonobo Jo sesh under the tree in the shade. What you guys doing?
Manual.
Manual.
I'm doing manual.
I'm doing manual with all my peeps, all my bros.
My cousin Emmanuel and I are doing
My cousin Emmanuel and I are doing manual with Manuel. They also engage in oral sex. They also the only animals other than us that practice tongue-on-tongue kissing and face-to-face penetrative sex. The prominence of bonobo's sexual behavior in social life has led researchers to brand them as the make love, not war apes. So fuck that, like, James Franco, Planet of the fucking Maniacs shit. I'm making a new version.
Called
None of that fucking guns.
Peace Orgy Apes.
Guns are down, dog. They don't want that. They're not there to fucking come out and, like...
I mean, this is kind of making me want to have sex with a bonobo.
Yeah, I mean, dog, it's off.
My fucking close-knit, eye-to-eye...
Yeah,
deep,
intimate, deep
bonobo,
yeah.
bonobo sex.
Manual sex.
They'd be down with me, right?
Dog, they would fucking love you. Bonobo mothers, however, seem to make a war out of seeing their sons successfully make love. They've frequently been observed to form coalitions with their sons to help them acquire and maintain high dominance rank, protect their sons' mating attempts from interference by other males, and even interfere in the mating attempts of others, unrelated males. So they'll
break a party up.
They'll
be like, my son's...
Oh, my bonobo dick is way better than this bonobo dick. Bam!
Get out of
Kick
there.
that bonobo. Ow! And then fuck that woman, I guess. That bonobo woman for a while, at least.
Till your son
Till
gets
6
there.
other people come in and you all fuck. Wait till your son to get there, then you break out.
Till Jonathan shows up.
Yeah, until Jonathan comes in. He's invited. The new research, it's published in Current Biology, shows that these strategies pay off. Males who had a mother present in their social group engaging in these behaviors are about 3 times more likely to produce offspring than males whose mothers were no longer part of the group. Mothers of successful bonobo fathers were present more than twice as frequently during conception.
Mothers of successful bonobo fathers.
They were there. Yeah, that's
the organization I work
It's
for.
a nonprofit, an advocacy group for freaky shit, but they're twice as frequently present more than twice as frequently during conception than in chimpanzees, a species in which males are socially dominant, in which maternal presence provided no benefits to sons. Thus, it appears that the dominance of females in bonobo social systems allows mothers to exert behavioral influence to boost the sexual fitness of their sons.
Because they know. They're a woman. They know what their look of female. They're like, I know what she wants. Trust me.
So let me stand there and watch you and tell
make
you
sure
how to
you're
do
fucking
it.
Doing it good.
Let me tell you what to do.
We can't do this, but I can tell you how to do
I'm going to
this.
help. I'm not allowed to do this, but I can show you how to do this.
We can't do this together, but we can do this together.
You understand that, right? But
it's the one rule.
Listen to me. Look me in the eye.
This is the one Bonobian law.
You look me in the eye when you're with her, and I'm going to guide you through this, son.
Bonobian law prohibits
this.
us from doing this together, but we can still share in this together.
Now look me in the eye when you do it. This elevated female social power doesn't just let bonobo moms get involved in their family's sex lives, but is likely responsible for a host of peaceful and progressive traits rarely seen in the mammal world. Females practice sex even when not ovulating, male-male competition is much reduced, and the species is remarkably tolerant to bonobos from outside their social group.
This sounds awesome.
Sounds amazing. Sounds like the future. The future is bonobo. How are we going to... Future is female, right? Well, it's actually female bonobo. But yeah, you too.
Female bonobos.
Yeah. Perhaps us humans ought to take note of how positively society can change when your mom watches you fuck.
Mom, you got to do me a favor.
Mom, this world gone to shit.
I think you're going to be proud of me.
I know you love me.
But I need you to
be
watch
there.
me.
I need
do
you to
something.
I need you to find her, procure her, bring her to me.
This is going to sound fucking crazy,
but is it though?
But Mom, is it really?
But is it if you think about it?
Look at the
me.
research.
Look at me in the eyes.
Watch my research. Look at my research.
This is research. This is science.
We can't do this. I know that, but
Mom. So really, the future is female bonobo. If we follow the pattern of this female-led social groups, look at all of the positive benefits that come out of it. Bonobian way. Guns down. Dicks up.
Yeah, I mean, buns up, dicks up, everything up.
Build things up. Don't tear them down. Do it the female bonobo way. you know? God, those Planet of the Apes, those are very violent. I've seen the trailers anyway.
I cried in one of the trailers. I hated it so much. I couldn't watch that shit.
It's too much, too violent.
Very violent.
Can't we remake that and just make it a little bit more kind of like
utopic? Bonobia?
And by utopic, I mean more
Bonobia.
orgiastic.
Sexual Bonobia.
Sexual Bonobia. Wonderful new series on Animal Planet. Oh!
Bonobia.
Bonobia. Is that near Pandora?
It's near, like, where's Avatar from?
If you make get to Pandora, you make a right. And, man.
I mean, that's
a lot going on there.
But it also sounds like
Sounds wonderful.
Sounds
like everyone's getting along.
It sounds unorthodox
fighting.
to us. However, it does seem as though.
I mean, Jonathan.
But we are.
Look what we're a mess. Look what
we're a mess.
I mean, if you can't look at what we fucking created and say,
yeah,
come on. All right. Belief in the racist police officer stereotype may become a self-fulfilling prophecy for law enforcement officers and lead to increased support for forceful or threatening police tactics, according to research published by the American Psychological Association. Officers who were highly concerned about appearing racist reported lower confidence in their moral authority, and then that led them to reporting more support for using coercive policing while on the job.
I'm not following this. Keep going.
Okay.
I'm a little confused.
Interestingly, both white and non-white officers were equally likely to be concerned about appearing racist. The political negative influence of stereotypes, threats such as the racist police officer, should be a concern to all officers in all communities, given the current tensions in the U.S. between law enforcement and the public, and notably with racial and ethnic minorities. The colleagues of the study wanted to better understand how pervasive stereotypes influence officers and how they approach members of their community. Police are typically trained to use their moral authority as peace officers to resolve conflicts. But if that moral authority is called into question, they may feel they have limited tools to gain compliance, leading to more harmful actions with potentially disastrous results.
Oy vey.
The researchers surveyed 784 patrol officers and sergeants from the patrol division of a large urban police force. Over 8 weeks, they attended patrol roll call at every station within the department to distribute and then collect surveys. The respondents were 80% male, nearly all were patrol officers, and just over half of the sample reported being white. On average, the officers were in their early 40s and they had 14 years of experience. The survey asked questions about stereotype threats, such as, how much do you worry that people may think of you as a racist because you are a police officer? How confident are you in using the authority that has been given to you as a police officer? Confident, I think.
Overly.
Oh, on that?
Wildly.
Oh, I'm Wix Conf. Watch. How justifiable are violations of the department's use of force policies? And how much would you approve of a police officer striking a community resident who had said vulgar or obscene things to the officer? That sets them off.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to.
I think you can say stuff, though, right?
You're not allowed to react to that.
Oh, them.
You're not allowed to retaliate to somebody calling you fucking names.
Oh, people, I watch a lot of vids. Dude stands on a sidewalk. Oof.
Like a fucking smartphone in his hand.
Mark-ass Buster, and they like, it's like, it's 40 years of rage. Like, yeah. The researchers examined the officers' support for engaging with the public in a just manner. For example, how much of a waste of time do you think it is to explain your decision to community members, as well as officers' level of cynicism and perception of risk associated with the job? There's a lot going on here.
A big survey.
We found what appears to be a vicious cycle. The more an officer was worried about being perceived as racist, the less confidence they had in their authority and the more likely they were to condone abusive policing tactics.
Well, that means they're racist.
So doesn't that just simply, yeah.
It just boils down to, that means you're racist.
Doth protest too much, racist. Right? I mean, like, if you're not racist, you'd be like, I'm not racist. Like, hey, how we doing? If you're racist, you're like, hey, how we doing? See how the tone was different? One was like, hey, how we doing? The other was, hey, how we doing? Like, Hey, you shooting hoops? No, it's supposed to be like, hey, what do you guys shooting hoops? I like that cop. Like takes a 3, makes it rain.
Yeah,
Everybody high fives. Community policing. It's all good. Not like roll up like, ooh, what's that? Is that rim regulation? Because if that's not 10 feet, you're all going in. I'm like, what?
Guy does the doogie with him. And uploads it
like,
viral.
Block Boy JB. What are we doing here? The shoot? What is this? Fuck. As long as you're not pulling people over. Like, just community police, roll up, just be a homie, be friends with everybody. Let's all just get along. Don't do that like, I'm going to pull you over.
And then prove to you how not racist
and then
I
give
am?
you a $10.
Scare the shit out of you.
You scare the fuck out of you and then give you a $10 Outback Steakhouse gift card on the house.
That shit's so fucked up.
Not before you're like, you've like called your husband to be like,
I think this guy's gonna
this
kill
man's
me.
gonna kill. He's screaming at me about a gift card. Right? It's all good, right?
It's so weird.
It's like
it's so not cool.
100 degrees out, and then they like pull a fucking melted ice cream out. You guys are just doing it so wrong.
It's so fucked up.
Yeah, they think they're doing it right. Let's pull them over. Scare the fuck
Like,
out of
we
them.
have a
and
sense of humor.
Yeah.
Like, we're cool.
Give them a chip witch at the end. They'll think it's cool. Fuck. The researchers also found that age was a strong predictor of support for responsible use of force, as older officers reported more self-confidence and less support for coercive policing than younger policemen and policewomen. That's like a
typo.
You can't. I mean, there's no. You'd think when you're new, you're following, you're trying to do it right. By the time you're like,
but in order to be new, you have to be like a rageaholic, racist, crazy person.
Okay, well,
because you've just become a police officer,
fresh out of the academy. Like,
that's not true. We've got a couple of people that listen to the show that are like fucking dope ass. It's just
when you come out of the academy, you're like, I'm here to protect and serve. If you've been doing this for 30 years, you know.
Well, okay, but if you've been doing this for 30 years, the time that you came up being a police officer,
oh boy,
very different times.
Yeah.
In a lot of different ways. I would say that younger people probably have been more exposed to harsher scenarios in life.
Like a reverse colors.
Kind of like
a Robert Duvall, Sean Penn. Sean Penn was a hothead. Robert Duvall's like, hey, hothead. But if you had that now, it would be, you would have that'd be a good movie. You have a female officer. She comes in. She's fresh out of the academy. She's normal, and she has a 30-year-old vet, like psychopath, and you have to say like, hey, like, that'd be good. I didn't want you. They stuck me with you. It's a buddy combat. In the end, she teaches him that his ways he's got to change. Hey, Toots, he'll go into the bathroom. Toots, grab me a donut when you're in there. And it's a close-up of her face. Zooms in. She's pissed. But she understands because she had a crazy racist uncle. But through the movie, he learns that his ways are wrong. I'm just writing this screenplay as we're.
Also that he does 23andMe and he finds out he's Hispanic.
Finds out that he's her father.
He's her
Hispanic father. Wait a second. All right, this suggests that older officers may be especially well-positioned within a department to socialize younger officers to norms that are less aggressive, but likely cultivated with a more seasoned exposure to the work. It seems like it would be...
Well, I think the idea is that with time comes experience,
yeah,
and that you adjust accordingly because it doesn't matter how badly I beat this person in the street, I'm going to get off. So
okay,
you just chill.
Oh, okay. Because you've just beaten Billy Club so many people, it's just so cash to you.
No, I'm saying that you realize that these scenarios aren't quite as... Things have a tendency to work themselves out in different ways, and that experience makes you probably able to make better decisions in the heat of the moment.
Ensuring that everyone gets home safely, even in the most dangerous encounters, is a skill that newer officers are less likely to have honed.
Because they're fucking all
know
nervous.
What the fuck's going on? Yeah.
They got adrenaline pumping.
Yeah, smash his taillight out. That's what we do when we pull him over, right? First thing you do? No, you just put the fingerprint on no, smash it out with a billy club. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. How do you do it? credit card and
On the ground,
credit card and
motherfucker.
chapstick. No, it's license and registration. It's the credit card and chapstick. Okay, everybody on the ground. Is that a baby? Is that a baby? Baby, get your hands up, baby. Fucking
Baby's moving.
baby's moving. Shoot the baby. Taser to point on the baby. I just got out of the academy. Fuck. Results showed that more women police officers supported working with the public in a just manner. This finding could indicate that recruitment, training, and counseling efforts that address the imminent violence that is associated with toxic masculinity could improve the quality of policing. So they're saying that you need more female
You just need
officers.
a lot of things.
Maybe
It needs to be completely and totally addressed, out in the open, and overhauled. I mean, they're uncovering, secret fucking
Oh yeah, secret gangs
racist
still going
fucking
on,
gangs and
guys,
shit in there.
I thought that was over. You've been doing it for the last 20 years since Rampart. You still have secret gangs with your own tattoos? Yeah, we do.
Yeah, is that okay with you?
Yeah, and you're not invited. Is that all right with you? And I just planted cocaine in your sock. Because they're all magicians as well. They're all like sleight of hand artists.
Yeah.
You're like, what's the, oh, what? And then your watch is gone and there's cocaine in your sock. What's this? Pull it out of your ear, the quarter and a bag of meth. And what's this, Mr. Romatelli? If that's your name.
It's
Yeah, they're good.
there's a lot of stuff going on here.
Conversations about police officers and stereotypes typically focus on the prejudices that officers bring with them on patrol, but this discourse that we need to have, we need to expand this to include the beliefs that officers have about themselves, how this affects their work, how this affects their relationship within communities. If we open up these types of dialogues, says the American Psychological Association, they can potentially be the difference between an encounter that increases trust between the community and the officer with respect and one in which stereotypes are just enforced.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it. And it obviously, the idea that you, that in theory, you are supposed to be, as a peace officer to protect and serve, all that
Yes.
stuff. That you do have a, that if your morality is in question
To your from the public or
from
to,
the public,
okay.
that you are immediately suspect, that
Yeah.
you are supposed to be an ethical, moral person. But if you know going into a situation that your morals and ethics are already not being trusted and being questioned, then your tendency to
club people.
to fall back into a situation where you resort to something like that, I would say is much more likely, because you have no confidence in that these people believe you're
dealing with.
capable of making the right decision. So
Okay.
there is a panic because you're like, well, they're basing their decision off the fact that they think if they don't run away from me, I'm going to hurt them.
Okay.
So I have to keep them from doing that in order to prove it that I'm not like that. But then I've now, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's like,
So you gotta be
it
cool.
is.
You gotta be cool. You gotta be cool. Spin your baseball hat back. Hey, lady. Don't no. Like we were watching that
It's-
cop say, don't run.
But
Don't run.
she still ran.
She's running. She has a warrant. But no. Warrant. I'm a new kind of cop.
I don't care about warrants.
Warrants?
I just care about shooting
Love the
hoops.
pan warrant, right? Let's just do some warrant. Come in the front of my
Get
car.
in the car.
Cover! Get her! I mean, that's the problem, is that it's so...
There's not enough tricks.
It's just... We need more tricks, the sleight of hand. It's just rife with, like, madness. Because
Well-
you want this... just community policing of just in a normal... Everyone goes in every
Well,
fucking
I've
neighborhood
always said that
and be
I
normal.
believe, I mean, and this has definitely been shot down by a lot of people when
Okay.
I've said this out loud, but I believe that there should be different, obviously there's different police departments, but I believe there should be different tiers of law enforcement
I love that.
that are endowed with different types
Okay.
of rights, because there is this sort of there are people that are given the authority to choose when and when not to use a handgun that I don't think probably are equipped to make that decision. I think the issue that we're having is that there are so many police officers, there is a need for so many police officers, and yet police officers are uniformly given these rights and abilities, privileges that some of them probably aren't capable of handling.
Oh yeah.
And
well, 70% of everyone that does everything is not capable of doing
not
what
good
they
at their
do.
job.
So that would be.
So you're not good at
but
your
with this
job.
one, you get a gun and you get to fucking run wild.
Right. And that they
to
are
run through fucking stop signs and shit. So that's like.
And that the punishments, obviously, that we're seeing for people who violate those are virtually non-existent. Much less that they're actually possibly a deterrent. You know what I mean? The idea that you could still keep your job after doing some of these things, not that you would actually like face prison time. I mean, it's crazy. So both of those things need to be addressed. But obviously, like we're saying, we watch these shows. The world, I mean, what these motherfuckers deal with on a regular basis is like, I mean, there is a million things that we see on those shows that I was like, if I was a cop, they'd be like, absolutely no way I'm going in there right now. Like, go fuck yourself. Like, this is ridiculous. This is insane. Like, and there is such a rampant insanity with drug addicts and mental health that alone is got to be so exhausting for the police force to constantly have to deal with these incessant, like, yes, technically you're breaking the law, but you're breaking the law because you are like melting from the inside out, and I have no means of helping you with that. The only thing I can do is try to punish you, which you don't even probably you can't wrap your head around because you're not mentally well enough to grasp the concept, or you're so high and strung out on drugs that it doesn't matter what consequences you're going to face, you're going to try and get high. Like, how much that must deplete the reserves that officers need in order to actually deal with dangerous situations.
To like deal with shit.
So it's just like it's totally fucked. But I mean, I don't know exactly what the options are. I certainly think there should be a non-lethal police force of some sort. And I guess the argument of that is that you're putting those people in danger.
They have nunchucks? What do they have?
They have like very, very high-powered water guns.
Okay, the ones or paintball guns.
No,
'cause those like
those
are supposed to
I would
hurt,
say
right?
water because it could maybe keep someone at bay. A steady stream could really hold them
like
at bay.
The Super Soaker Police, SSPD. I made it, Ma. I passed the academy.
But the problem is that you send these people on these routine welfare checks and stuff like that.
Like AK-47 and someone's on Bristol. Like
you're gonna send somebody with a fucking with a
got 6 kids hostage. You got a Super Soaker. Like
Why'd I do this? All that would take is about one or two of those for my
the Super Soaker Police. It only lasted 4 hours. Yeah, they sent in. I guess they were serving a warrant. They let the Super Soaker Police go in, and the guy just came out and was like, "Is that a Super Soaker?" And when they said yes, he shot them all in the face. Sucks.
Kids,
all of them. All the kids, everyone. Then like a few people that were like across the street watching. Sucks. It's a common sight on casino floors. Patrons jumping from slot machine to slot machine before eventually hunkering down at a game that's due for the next big payout. You ever seen that?
We've done it.
Yeah, so when you size it up.
Read the room.
You read the room. You read the machine. You get a feel for it. You get your feet. You take your shoes off. You bury it into that gross fucking Tom Collins cigarette-stained carpet like Rick Rubin would. Ground it. Like
feel it out.
I'm going to sit right here.
This one needs
a TMZ machine.
This one needs to let out.
Harvey?
This one needs something.
This one's going to
get something off its chest, if you know what I mean.
But can players, even the regulars who frequent a particular property like Jonathan, really tell the difference between the house edge on one game from one to another?
No. Absolutely not.
No. Anthony Lucas, a UNLV Hospitality College professor and former gaming industry operations analyst, basically him and some colleagues for the past several years have taken to casino floors on multiple properties in the United States, Australia, and Mexico to investigate. And they can't. It doesn't. Can't do it.
No.
Essentially, what they did, they took 2 identical slot machines. They positioned them in similar places on a casino floor, but they varied the par, P-A-R. That's the percent of total coin in that the machine keeps over time. For example, if the par on a game is set at 10%, the machine would be expected to retain $10 of every $100 wagered on average over a long term. But in the short term, this rarely happens. It's increasing the difficulty of par detection. For this study, researchers compared the daily performances of pairings for the games Tokyo Rose and Dragon's Fortune X. Love DFX. Oh! Over a 9-month period. You imagine? Oh God, some of those sad sacks.
9 months.
Oh, it's that same guy, that poor guy, Gary. Gary's back. Gary walks in, does his thing, like, fucking Gary's doing his thing. Oh, poor Gary. Should we tell Gary? It's a 9-month study. Should we just tell Gary at 9 minutes, get out of this building? No. Let Gary be. It's just Gary being Gary. Is that a rosary bead? Yeah, he's running it down Dragon's Fortune X.
He hangs it off the
lever.
lever.
He hangs it off the dragon's fucking fire. Oh, Gary. The pars within each pairing ranged from 7.98% on the low end to 14.93% on the high end. So over the course of, basically it kept 8 out of every $100 to 15 out of every 100 over 9 months. So this is much long, but I read this earlier. Basically, that is so minuscule, 24 hours a day over a 9-month span.
It's imperceivable.
It's not perceivable for Gary. If you told Gary that, he would punch you in the face
and then get
right back to it. What about Tokyo Rose? Oh, Gary's over at the Rose now. Yeah, he's there. He's got a picture of his dead wife in a frame, and he's got it up on there, and she's going to look over him, and she's going to help him get out.
That technology has changed over time.
It's probably gotten better for the house.
Oh, I mean,
if they can compute.
Think about how far they've come. The amount of time, it used to be like a random number generator. You could run a magnet underneath it and get it to pay out. Now it's this thing is you're not cracking this code.
No, it's
not happening.
That's not happening. Mm-hmm. Why do people gamble then in that kind of way?
Because
there's nothing involved in it. There's no, I guess poker involves skill, right? Or maybe sports wagering involves maybe some.
It's a combination, knowledge. Right, of skill and chance, as opposed to just pure.
I guess there's some things where
I think
you could do better than maybe somebody that didn't know. Maybe
right, but I'm saying the idea of buying a quick pick. It's the same concept. It's just hoping somehow, randomly in the world that you fall. Ass backwards into it. And I think taking your choice out of that, the only choice you have to make is to wager. You don't have to make a decision of, do I hit on 17 or not? It takes the onus off of you and puts it out into the universe, and then you just plead with the universe to look fairly upon you.
Look upon me fairly, fair universe.
Fairly. Not fairly.
Fondly. I don't know.
I don't know.
You're just in a costume.
But you know what I mean? It takes to wager,
talking about
Gary, and then be forced to decide how to win. As opposed to,
do I hit on this or not?
That is almost as chancy and random as just being here, if it happens, great, and if it doesn't.
It's anywhere from 8% to 15%. Maybe I'll be here for the hour that it hits 15%. I know I will.
100%.
I know I will.
And people are, I do believe that if you look at the averages of that people are equally as, I don't believe the odds are that much more in your favor by playing a skill game versus a pure chance game. I do believe that the odds of roulette are worse than anything else.
Okay.
But jackpots, slot machines actually aren't that bad. I think they pay out. I mean,
and you get to sit down.
And you get to sit. by yourself.
By yourself.
And you don't have to like look at dudes with like glasses on who are like playing like World Series poker, like, you know, masturbating under the table and shit.
What does he do with his hands? Well, one he uses for the cards, one
probably wrong about that. The odds at slot machines are probably terrible odds as well. But again, it allows you to take a passive role in your gambling,
in losing your money,
so you don't possibly torture. Maybe I think it might be less torturous to lose that way.
You're gonna lose anyway. You feel less bad about yourself if you doing it smoking
as
and
opposed
sitting down.
I should have.
Over here, I can't smoke and I have to stand.
Well, no, but then also saying I can't believe I should have folded. I shouldn't have. You know what I mean?
Why'd I hit on that?
That's
on me.
I'm an idiot.
I'm a dummy.
As opposed to
my
just
parents raised a dummy. They did because what are you doing? You're in the World Series of Poker. So what are you doing? All right.
But it's fun.
I guess that's
not fun. It was fun a couple of times, and now every time I do it, I feel shitty and the same. But I still do it.
It can't be fun.
It's not fun. It's fucking awful. It's only fun if you win, and then if you win, you just do it more and then lose again.
And so it's kind of like drugs, kind of.
It is drugs.
It's drugs. It's fun. Gets funner. Gets to a point where it's not fun.
Then you
can't stop.
Then you start doing more of it.
But then you do more of it, and then it overtakes everything, and then takes you down, and then you lose everything, but then you still keep doing it. You're Gary.
And then you're Gary.
Except it's cocaine. This is my Uncle Gary. He plays Dragon Ball Z, or what is it? And I'm his nephew. I like cocaine.
I love sex and cocaine.
But I'm also Gary.
But I'm Gary Jr.
I'm a sex addict, cocaine addict. I'm Gary Jr. We're both fucked.
I'm moving to Bonobia.
That's the bottom line. The future is female. We knew that. But what we really didn't know
was that it was female
bonobos.
We
gotta make that shirt. The future is female bonobos. And people will say, you're right. I've studied their social behavior. And basically what it is a community that's come together to
of mothers
love
watching their
mothers
sons have
and
sex.
sons of mothers.
Community of mothers watching their sons have sex.
sex.
Protecting their sons so they can have sex in the same circle.
I guess that is what it is.
But you can fuck someone else's mom.
Oh, God, yeah. You can fuck your mom's best friend. Your mom can be right there. Bonobos!
Mom, look, I'm fucking your best friend.
Mom, look. Fucking your childhood best friend.
Aren't you proud of me?
Don't you love me more? Bonobos for life. Episode 733 of our comedy podcast, Yeah Dude, America Through the Eyes of Two American Americans. Thank you for joining us on this as we did these 5 longer stories. As we took a break from our rapid fire, again, our Tommy gun stuff.
Hip shooter.
Man, of episodes.
Okay, corral of comedy.
731 and 732. Thank you for joining us here for 733.
Our Gatling gun humor.
Thank you. We ask that you come back for 734. 888-842-2357. 888-842-2357. Toll-free voicemail. Have had that forever. Feel free to call that. Share your thoughts on any of this and more. We'll take it from there, and we'll get, come back for 734.
Yeah, go to our Patreon page and pledge to the show to keep us advertising-free, commercial-free, listener-supported. Thank you to everyone who does that. You also get discounts on merch. You get access to the archived episodes and the video episodes of these shows that we film in the apartment. Thanks to Jeff for doing the live edits on the cameras there.
Yeah,
and
you'll be able to hear our show that we do in Brooklyn on July 27th.
Yes, all the live shows go up there on the Patreon as well. So please head there. Go to our website. Check out the show notes. Check out the merch store. Find me on Instagram.
Thank you so much.
You know, all that kind of stuff. And we'll see you guys soon.
734. See you for 734.
We'll hear and see you. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Come back, listen
for
to 734. Seatbelts.
Seatbelts.